Welcome, fellow MarketSurge stock screeners and two-time U.S. investment champ Mark Minervini fans. I'm going to show you right now how I modified Mark Minervini's screens to make them better, in my humble opinion, to make them pull up the type of stocks that I like to frequent in. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you real quick the recipe for how to tinker with his screens. And if you don't have MarketSurge, you might want to add these attributes to whatever stock screener you're using. What's that? You don't use a stock screener, you just act on tips? Well, it's probably time to start screening stocks for yourself. Okay, so here we go. You click on the tab on the left right there, and let's make a new screen. Now, new stock screen, and let's call this YouTube Minervini Modified. Okay, now the default database that MarketSurge screens from is kind of the total all of the stocks in the market that they follow, 10,729. But you can actually screen from a different database. You can screen from different industries, different indexes, different pre-made stock screens on MarketSurge, etc., including the Minervini screens. So let me back out of this again. So you click on MarketSurge database, and you go to reports. They're pretty buried, so stay with me. You go to stocks. You go to technical, and here they are, the holy grail, the Minervini trend, 1 month, 1 to 4, 5 months, and 5 months wide. I have talked about the differences of these in different videos, so I'm not going to do that right now. There's David Ryan's ants list. I like that one too. Let's do... Wow, what is my favorite one? I suppose if I could only have one, it would probably be the 5-month trend. So I'm going to click on that, but I would really modify all 4 of these. And if you are a serious stock trader, you're going to want to run these at least once a week. Anyway, you click on that. And now it's going to pull stocks from the Minervini trend 5-month screening. And this means that this is a list of stocks that have been in uptrends, that is, that have been above their 200 days for 5 months or longer. He did an exhaustive study and discovered that 98% of stocks make their big move after they've been in an uptrend for a few months, not before. So it's not about bottom fishing, it's about identifying strong patterns in stocks that are already in uptrends. Anyway, this screen at the moment is pulling up 377 stocks, but I want to modify a few things. First, I'm going to go to, now there's not any real particular order I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go to price and volume. I'm going to set the minimum price at 5, maximum price, whatever. And that screened out 25 stocks. We're now at 352 stocks. And I know especially if you have a small account size, those cheap stocks are very seductive. Why buy 1 share of Netflix when you can buy 1,000 shares of XYZ company? But in truth, those stocks below 5, and honestly stocks below 10, they have a whole bunch of drawbacks. Just off the top of my head, volatility, gap between the bid and the ask, much more susceptibility to news events, etc., etc. I've probably traded these, look, I've been trading since 1996. I've probably traded these low price stocks, I don't know, 500 times, and I probably lost money on them. Oh, I don't know, 400 times. They, over time, they do not pan out. So let's not even look at them. And if a stock is, if it's a great company at $3, it's still going to be a great company at $5. So the next thing I want to do is look at the shares in the float. So you go to volume and you go, let's see, I got to think a minute. 50-day average volume in thousands. This is confusing. Basically, this is the number of shares per day that are traded. And at the very, very minimum, more is better. The very, very minimum, I want to see 200,000 shares traded per day. When you have a high number of shares trading per day, then the spread between the bid and the ask is tight. So you get a good price on your buy and sell. And it's less volatile, and you don't get stuck. If something is trading very thinly and you try to liquidate a position, you might get a really bad fill because there's just not many shares trading hands. So I want to cap that at 200,000 to infinity again. That brings it down to 238. That chopped off over 100 stocks. That's pretty cool. That's 100 less I have to look at. All right, now I'm a big believer, strength begets strength, right? And I'm not a bottom fisherman. There are value guys who make a good living, picking those can't talk right now. Picking those bottoms, but bottom prices. But I only want to see stocks that are within 25% of their previous high. So let me find that one. Current price. We got to go back up to price. Let's see. Price versus 52-week high. And we're going to do negative 25. And if you click on this, by the way, it'll tell you how to do it. All right, let's click it. Screen down to, only two. We only lost one stock there. That's interesting. That's because, the Minervini trend template generally pulls up strong stocks that are doing well. Let's see here. Two more relative strength. And I want to buy stocks that are outperforming most stocks in the market. For beginners, Mark Minervini recommends stocks with a relative strength rating of 88 or higher, meaning they're outperforming 88% of stocks. I'm going to lower that down to 80 because sometimes if you have a good stock that's in a big base, it might be basing for a while the indexes are moving up, and it might lag down to the lower 80s. So let's go relative strength rating 3-month 80 and 6-month 80. And that brings us down to 198. So we have shaved off, we have shaved off, what was it? Hold on a sec. We've shaved off 189 stocks. And so now we can screen through this pretty quickly. You just spacebar through them, and we can further organize them as follows. I'll show you in just a second. Let me clip this just so we have it for the end here. Okay, so let's see. Close that, and we can open this. So here is our list of stocks, 198. And then we can organize them any way we want to. We can organize them by price, higher or lower. We can organize them by volume, organize them by EPS rating. Earnings per share growth more than any other attribute moves stocks, in my opinion. So looking at the highest EPS stocks would be a good way to go. AT, ranked number 1 here. Composite rating, relative strength. Where's relative strength here? I know it's on here. Relative strength. Earning stability. There's all sorts of different ones. IPO date. Industry. We could lump the industries together. What's on here? Utilities, telecom, retail, oil and gas, mining, medical, insurance, little everything. That's good to see. Aerospace is hot right now too. All right. So at some point I will make a video showing you how I screen through these. I don't have time to do that right now, but I really encourage you to tinker around with modifying the MarketSurge screens, including the Minervini screens. Those are the changes that I make. And here is that screenshot. You can jot these down or screenshot my screenshot. There might be some other ways that you want to change it and narrow it down even more. I don't like making my screens too narrow, because I would hate to miss out on the next NVIDIA, because accidentally screened it off of my screen, if you know what I mean. But there are all sorts of screens on MarketSurge. Under technical here, you've got all these different ones, the Minervini ones, top 150, accumulation, timeliness, accelerating leaders. The list goes on and on. You can pull up any of those and then tinker with them. Okay, that's it for this video. I wanted to only make it 10 minutes, stretched a little bit over there. Let me know your questions and comments. And just FYI, I have a Patreon group. Every weekend I show my focus list that I put together over the course of the week based upon this screen and several more that I run. I also show my portfolio every weekend and do some weekly check-ins and so forth. 7-day free trial, link in the description below. And don't forget to check out my partner, Seeking Alpha Premium, my #1 go-to choice for fundamental research. Also link in the description. See you in the next video.